Hey guys, if you remember from season 1, we were up at Penn's Peak. Ted Nugent, Greg Smith, we did a little interview back there, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
And towards the end of that interview, you said, hey, why don't you give us a call, second season, check out my band Off the Road.
That's right.
When you are truly
Off the road,
Off the
exactly.
road.
As is Chuck.
Chuck, Billy Joel, correct? We got Phil right here, and Johnny. Phil, give us a little bit of your background. too.
Ironically, I was on the road to get here.
Yes.
From where?
Because I'm from Long Island.
And we got Johnny over here. Johnny, legend in the Lehigh Valley for years playing guitar.
Still alive. That's what, still doing it.
The reason we're here, guys, off the road, what can you tell us? So when you guys are truly off the road, you're gigging around the Lehigh Valley and surrounding areas. Greg, anybody just jump in?
No,
Give us a
you know,
little bit
it's
of
just
background.
it's just playing some old, cool, fun tunes. Chuck and I, for the last 25 years, have always been looking for ways to play together and continue to play together. And this is just one of the things. He's off the road, I'm off the road. That didn't always happen a lot,
Right.
So we just sort of took advantage of that. We've been playing with Phil for forever, and then we met John, and it really turned into something that we enjoy doing, and we just kind of keep doing it for fun and having a blast.
When I was down at another place, I checked you guys out. I mean, it was absolutely incredible. You understand when you come out and see Off the Road, the reason you guys are on tour. I mean, it's just punch, power. And I think you guys were doing space trucking or Highway Star.
Highway Star. Yeah.
Highway Star, and I'm like, as soon as Chuck, you began it, I'm like, oh my God. That snare is just like, it's played with such confidence. And I told Greg, I go,
Oh,
he
stop!
I go, he nailed Highway Star. He goes, well, you used to play for Rainbow. I go, well, okay. Johnny, you didn't even know that, did you?
Well, I check up on these guys, see if they really are. And they're good.
You gotta Google them.
It's for real. They really did that stuff. It exists. I have to pinch myself now. How about it?
What are you guys truly doing when you're off the road? How do we hang out? What do you do when you hang out? What goes on when you hang out? These are some of the things that we're gonna bring to the Steel Nation. So Fulmer and I and Wolfie packed up our stuff and headed to what Off the Road calls Brew Day. This is where the guys hang out, cook some food, and brew their own beer. Kick back and relax, rock and roll style. So we pulled up to where Brew Day takes place and got out of the car and introduced ourselves to the guys that make it happen. Hey, Steel Nation, we're here and we're behind the scenes. And apparently we got some beer brewing here, right?
That's right.
Now, what they start with is 20 pounds of grain and 5 gallons of water.
Been sitting in here cooking for 90 minutes. What we're going to do now is we're going to sparge, it's called.
What?
Sparge.
Sparging is where you're going to rinse the grain, all the sugars out, into the boiling bucket.
Where do you get your grains from?
Keystone Home Brew in Bethlehem.
So you guys weren't out in the field with the sickle cutting this stuff down?
No.
That can happen. That can happen though.
No. This is going to take an hour to drain this out.
Brew Day is not only about brewing beer, but cooking up food as well. Hey, there's Johnny Canavo putting his 2 cents in on the brewing process. Hey, Steel Nation, another facet and part of what's going on here today. I'm here with Bagel. I see some jalapenos, or as I once went to a place and overheard a boyfriend asking his girlfriend, would you like the jalapeno poppers? So I just stopped it right there. I see some bacon, cheese. What do you got for us here today?
Well, we're going to take a little cheese.
All right, and you're stuffing the cheese down into
Put the
there.
cheese in.
All right.
Piece of bacon. Up around. And around. And over. The bacon wrapped stuffed jalapeno popper a la Bagel.
Now, Bagel, you live up in Long Pond, right?
Yep.
And we're down here in Bangor. Does Greg ever come up to your house?
Never.
Well, why not?
Maybe we should ask that curly Irish guy that.
So we went out to get Greg, and he was talking on the phone, maybe getting off the road their next gig or lining up his next national tour. Who knows? But we wanted to look like rock stars too. So we sent Fulmer out first, and then me second, and then all 3 of us at the same time. Bonafide rock stars. Then it was back with Bagel to decide on what Greg's punishment would be for never coming up and visiting him.
Greg, I got a little jalapeno seeds for you.
You kidding me?
And you gotta chew them. You can't just
That's
swallow
all you
it.
got?
Chew it.
Hey,
There's the suffrage.
Suffragette City, baby. That's all you got, baby?
So Greg chewed and chewed, and then the hotness set in. Brian jumped in and reminded Greg what he said just a little while ago.
That's all you got, baby?
That's all you
Oh my
Hey,
God.
how you feeling now?
A little hot, man. A little hot. Oh my God. Ah! You know what? It's bad now, but the back end is really going to be worse.
Hey, we're not filming that. We're not filming that one.
So we got back on task. After Greg's jalapeno experiment, Bagel put the poppers in the oven. Boom, closed the door, and we waited for them babies to be done. We went to check out some of the cars that I heard were around Brew Day. Here's a 70 Dodge Challenger. Here's a tricked out Fiero. Here's Brian and I on a vintage Skidoo. Faster, faster. But the ultimate was when Johnny Canavo let me take his vintage 1966 Colombo Volvo out for a spin. This thing was a real classic and had all the beauty and lines as if it just rolled off the assembly line yesterday. But we had to get back and check on those poppers. So Bagel and I toasted each other and chowed those down. Those things were excellent. But it was now time to check on the Brew Day brewing. If you remember, we left off with a process called sparging, and that took over an hour, and now we're back with the boys. All right, Mark, as talked about earlier, we're boiling here, right?
We're boiling.
I see the rumble starting to happen.
We are boiling. At this point, we throw the hops in.
Drops
They
in.
go in.
All right, just that simple.
It's just that simple.
And now, how long is that going to be in there for?
90 minutes.
90 minutes. Hey, guys, what's the next step in this process?
After 90 minutes, from then it goes into the glass fermenters.
Well, don't you know,
Thank God.
I'll be sampling some of this.
And so he did. But if you ask me, it was a little premature in the process. Next step,
Yes.
we're going to chill it.
All of them.
So we dropped in the copper coil and ran cold water through the lines to cool the brew down. Mark was constantly taking readings, so the beer wouldn't drop in temperature too rapidly. Remember, slow and steady wins the race. So now the process, you're taking this stuff out of the keg and filling it into, what did you call them before, Mark?
These are fermenters.
Once they're filled,
Yes.
you plug them.
What the airlock does is it lets, when the yeast starts to ferment, it will let the gas out, but it will not let air in. Take a week to actually do its entire thing. After that point, one of these jugs will go into a soda keg. The other one is going to get bottled. The bottled beer will take another 2 weeks, actually at 70 degrees, to carbonate, and then a week after that, it'll be ready to drink.
So the bottom line, it's all yummy.
There were so many people at Brew Day, and each one brought their own favorite dish to the table. We sampled so many foods, and everyone had their own unique flavor and twist to them, inspired by recipes that were handed down from generation to generation. From venison to smoked chicken to bacon wrapped meatloaf, we had it all. And let's not forget to mention the garlic patch. These garlic plants were from 100-year-old garlic bulbs brought from Italy by Ron's grandfather. Even Wolfie got in on Brew Day. He organized, let's say, an impromptu Easter egg hunt with all the little kiddies that were there. Look at him. He's really competing against these little guys. Literally taking the candy out of a child's hand. But with hard work comes great reward. And Wolfie enjoyed his spoils of war. He chewed and chewed and chewed and chewed and chewed. You know, Steele, as we wrap up our day here, it's been a great 2 days to hang out with Greg Smith and the boys from Off the Road. I mean, this is the way it was meant to be when you're truly off the road. So hopefully we gave you a little bit of insight as to what goes on when these rockers are not touring. My stomach is stuffed, my heart is gladdened, and I'm absolutely in love with life right now as we know it. Hey, Fulmer, what you
What
think?
awesome segment.
How about that guy Bagel?
What is there to say? I mean, that meatloaf,
Absolutely. And what about Ron?
the bacon, and
Yeah.
Ron. Oh,
Everything was
the
there.
food was incredible.
Absolutely incredible. And you know, the diversity of foods.
Yes.
I mean, you know what? There were such unique flavors that I haven't experienced before. These people had it down to a
Yeah,
science.
and you know what, Nick? What I loved about it, it was just all about having a good time, spending time with friends and family, and that's what it's really all about.
Absolutely. There were so many elements in that piece.
Yeah,
What about the Skidoo when we were on there?
that was a great ride. That was fun.
So that brings us to our final segment of episode 2.
Wolfie,
Wolfie's Twist. We
What
don't
did
know.
he get himself into now?
We have no idea, but I think we're about to find out. This guy never ceases to amaze
No, he
us.
doesn't.